The name of my book is I'm Still Here. I initially wanted it to be called Buried Alive because that's what I had like when I first just started writing. There's an artist and there's an album and it's called I'm Still Perfect, and it inspired me because it was like, you know, after everything he went through, like he's still perfect, like that's what he's trying to say. And after all I went through that I talk about in my book, I'm still here, you know. So. It just started when I was in high school and I would just write, and like I would just go on my phone and like, you know, all girls when you're going through trials and tribulations of anything, I feel like we all use our notepad, so like that's what I used. And then one day I was like, I'll either turn this into a book or I'll turn it into like something, but then I kind of forgot about it for a while, and then when I started to write again, like more so, like I would probably say like second year of university like times, and then I started to do YouTube. I was like, I feel like this would be cool if I eventually did a poetry book. So I just used a lot of the stuff that I had when I was like 16, 15. It was, I don't know, I just like, there were so many points in time, because I feel like I've literally been working on this for like 10 years, I feel. There were so many points in time where I wasn't writing, and I felt like I had writer's block, like nothing was coming to mind. And then there was months where I would just write, like before I went to bed, I would just think of something, or like when I was in the car, I would think of something and I would just write it into my phone, or like literally there was times where like I just had paper in front of me and I just would think of something because of conversation I was having, and I would just write it down. I just got a film camera, like a disposable. I got a couple, and I just took photos of people that were important to me, like places that were important to me, places that kind of like held value or like memorable moments to me. And yeah, just the doubt I had in myself. Like there were so many times where I was like, this isn't good enough, and I would write something, or I'd say the book was quote unquote done, and then I would go back and I would like just be like, this is ugly, I don't like this, never mind, this isn't good enough, people aren't gonna like this. I would just say the doubt I had in myself was a really big challenge. And just, I guess in the sense of trying to get over that, just knowing that there are people that will resonate to what I'm writing about, and even if there is one person that could be like, wow, your book touched me, I think that that's enough. And also having like friends read it and be like, wow, this was good, or friends like tear up reading it, you know? I was like, okay, maybe this isn't so bad. So I think that's how I got past those challenges. Life, I would say the book is about grief, it's about addiction, it's about family, friends, heartbreak, just the troubles of life that we all go through. I would say the book is about the things that I've dealt with, that I've faced the most difficulties with in my life. I definitely wrote most about that. Honestly, I don't even, you could say like 5 years, but you could say like 3. But I would say like since I really started, like when I knew what type of book I wanted to make, I would say it's probably been like 2.5 years, maybe 3. I was definitely a bit nervy just because it's a really like raw book, you know. I'm being very like vulnerable about a lot, so definitely a bit nervous. Just like, how are people gonna feel? Are people gonna like judge that? Because when you open up about certain things, you're granting people the space and the opportunity to be able to judge certain things. So I would definitely say a bit nervous, but I'm still excited. So the fact that we all go through very hard times, that we all struggle, that we all deal with emotions that we don't know how to deal with, and we all feel things we don't want to. It's a normal part of life, and I just want people to know that they're not alone in anything that they go through. I think it's so easy to feel alone in your pain. Like just like nobody knows what I'm going through. Like nobody knows how this feels. I just want people to know that they have somebody that can relate to them and that they're just not alone in anything that they go through. Because it's not fun feeling like you're alone. I would say just go and do it. I feel like I loathed it so much. Like, just do it. With anything though. I think anything that, like, any creative, anything that you want to do and you feel like you're like, should I do it? Just do it. The time is gonna pass anyways. So that always held me back to, like, oh, I'm not gonna go back to school because then I'll be 28 and or like, I'm not gonna do this because then I'll be 35. It's gonna take too long. The time is gonna pass anyways. Just do it. You're gonna be more regretful about the fact that you didn't try rather than you trying and, like, quote unquote failing. At least you can say you tried. That's a good one. To take risks, and don't be afraid of leaving anything that doesn't benefit you. I think that whether that's a job or a friendship or a relationship or anything, I think we get so comfortable and we fear the unknown. You can't reach your full potential without fully investing yourself into something. Don't half-ass something, and don't stay complacent and stagnant because you're scared. Just take the risk. Just take the risk. I know that these pills are no good for me. They may easily be the death of me. They have brought me the closest to it, but also the closest to joy and the closest to you. So really, there's no difference between the two. But even when I wrote it, I was like, wow, that's deep. I feel like if you deep it, you deep it, you know? But, like, I was just trying to say, like, you know, I know that the addiction I was struggling with at the time was really no good for me. And if anything, that was probably what was going to lead me to my downfall and, you know, not being in this world anymore. But I said that substance was also what brought me closest to death, as I said, but also the closest to joy, because obviously when people deal with addiction, like, they're usually searching for something within it. So joy is what I was looking for. Just happiness, not having to feel anything anymore. Who I'm talking about is not here in the physical spirit anymore. So if I were to pass, then I would have been okay with that, because that was the closest that I could have gotten to them. I am really open about those on my book. People always ask me this, and I feel like I'm not the person to ask, because I've said that a lot of my coping mechanisms were, they caused me way more harm than they did good in the end. And addiction, it led to substance abuse. That obviously caused me more harm than good in the end. Yeah, when you deal with things like substance abuse or addiction and depression, or you're a survivor of SA or something, or grief or whatever it is, like, there's so many traumatic things that a person can go through in their life. It makes you qualified to speak on a lot of things. I think if I didn't go through anything that I did, I couldn't speak about it in my book. I couldn't come here and talk about it right now, because what have I been through? What am I gonna tell you? And I know a lot of people talk about things like addiction and depression, and they have no understanding towards it because they've never experienced it, and they're so ignorant towards it. And I think it's the same people that if they were ever faced with it, they wouldn't be able to survive it. So it's just always funny to me when people talk about things and they're just so ignorant towards it, because you really don't understand at all. So my advice to people who are dealing with that is just that you're so strong and you're way more capable than you think you are. You can go through anything if you can go through that. If you still manage to wake up with depression every day, and you go to work and you go to school and you take care of your kids and you do this and you do that, or if you're dealing with addiction and you're trying your hardest to fight it every day and you're doing everything you need to, and you're going to meetings, or you're maybe taking medication to help with that, or anything, just, you are so strong and you're capable, and just don't give up on yourself. The whole world can give up on you, honestly, but all that matters is that you do not give up on yourself, because once that happens, that's when it starts to go, you know? So just do not give up on yourself. You're capable, you're strong, you've got this, and I'm proud of you. If nobody has told you that lately, I'm very, very proud of you for going through that and trying every day still. So my only advice would be to just keep on going and be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself like you're your best friend, not your worst enemy. I think that's a lot of our struggle is like, I think we just are too harsh on ourselves. So just be kind to yourself. You're doing the best that you can with what you know at the time. So, yeah.
All right, that's a wrap here on set, guys. One take.